over to my mom's house today because we are working on keychains for the conference that I will be going to. So I am going to go grab a little sweet treat for the both of us because I like to treat her because she's my mom. And then we will be working on that stuff. I was really excited to show you guys this today because this is going to be what we're working on together. She has this really cool machine that etches things, and I'll show you an example once we get there. All right, I got to order the stuff now. Now, truthfully, there's been a little bit of time between recording this time lapse and recording this voiceover. On that day, it was spitting here and there. The weather was not amazing, but that's okay. We were inside anyways. Sweet treat was delivered. Here I am coming up and waving at my mom. She's going to come on out and say hi to me. I love her. She was such a good sport for this. There's her enjoying her sweet treat. And here are the keychains that were used for the conference, along with the charcuterie board / cutting board. That was a gift for someone at the conference, but these were a huge hit. Everybody seemed to love them. I love the way that they turned out, and it was a really fun project to do with my mom. But this day actually ended up having a nice little spin I think you guys will enjoy. So here it is. Does my hair look funky?
Yeah, no, it looks good.
Okay. You ready? Nervous? This is why I need an actual camera, because
you could have your phone.
Yeah, I could have a camera and use my phone as well. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here today with my mom, Mom Bort.
Hi.
I talked her into letting me ask her some questions and interview her on our relationship, so that we can look back on this and probably laugh on it or something like that. Anything you would like to say before we start on questions?
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm old. Well, not very old. I don't feel very old. I will be 50 this year.
Don't look a day over 21.
Oh, thanks. I'm from this area, Portsmouth, Virginia. My family is all from this area, and I moved away for a long time. I had you in North Carolina, where my dad had taken his career and life and started a business down there. And I worked for him for 10 years. Had you in the process. And then when you were 5, we moved back to this area.
So basically,
to
my
start
baby.
Life.
No,
yes.
I'm kidding.
You can just edit this part out. That's fine.
That's the great
I'll leave it in.
Thank you for sharing about yourself.
And already getting some good laughs in.
Yeah. We'll move on to the questions now.
Okay.
All right, we're going to start with some fun and lighthearted questions.
Okay.
What was I like as a child, and are there any funny or embarrassing stories?
As a child, you were stubborn and hard-headed and just very independent all along. Not in a bad way, in a very good way, and always bringing laughter. I think one of my favorite memories, you were just a prissy thing. You like to play dress up and put your fake high heels on with your glittery skirt and your
I remember that.
Love sleeves. And I love to watch you do that and play around with the different outfits. But when we moved up here, we had family back in North Carolina that would call and talk to you. And you were 7 years old at the time, and it threw me for a loop. We still had a corded phone at the time. You went and crawled up on my bed and laid back and put one knee up in the air and the other hand behind your head and had the phone talking like you were Miss Teenager. I even took a picture of it. I had to have it for memories.
Do you still have that picture?
I do. I'm going to have to find it.
Please
and I
send
can
it
tell
to
you,
me.
you were wearing a yellow shirt and purple shorts.
So I was a teenager at 7. Got
At
it.
7. You were definitely older than your years, always.
All right, moving on. If you had to describe me in 3 words, what would they be?
3 words?
Only 3.
Only 3?
How many you got?
I have so many.
Choose wisely.
I am. I am. So I think I would probably say very positive, always optimistic. Think optimistic, always bringing laughter to situations, and loving. You just have always been very loving and very snuggly.
I didn't pay her for that. All right.
No.
Thank you. But bringing laughter is 2 words? No, I'm kidding. I'm messing with you.
You know what? Jolly. We'll call you Jolly.
Okay. All right. Number 3. What's the most mischievous thing I did growing up? I think I might know this one, but go ahead.
The most mischievous, the first one that comes to mind is that you would never leave the electrical sockets alone when you were a baby.
Really?
Really.
I was that kid?
You were that kid. And I would
Oh, no.
I would pull you away and tell you adamantly no and put you down, and the first thing you do is crawl back to the
I was going to
receptacle.
say that one time when I wrote down on the teacher's floor that someone else's name and tried to frame them.
I never knew anything about that.
Yes, you did, because I fessed up.
I don't remember this.
Oh, it was in 2nd grade. I'm sorry, Caroline.
Poor Caroline.
I felt so bad about that. All right, number 4. If we could switch lives for a day, what's the first thing you'd do?
If we could switch lives for a day, I would clean up your room a little bit. Sorry.
Wow, have you even seen my room lately?
No, I haven't lately.
There we go. All right. I was going to say that you would probably go through my finances and do something smart with my money.
That's a great idea. I would do that. Yes. Let's go back. Ask me that question again.
All right.
You can edit this out. Let's go back.
No. You already answered.
Okay.
All right. Last fun question. Well, I guess they're all fun. What's one thing you always wanted to teach me but never got the chance to?
There's a couple of things actually, and I know it's only asking for one, but there's a couple of things.
Okay.
I probably would have done more to teach you about cooking and food, and then managing your finances.
Oh, you're just gonna squeeze that one. All right. Thank you for your candid answers so far. Now we're moving on to the sentimental and heartfelt questions. Number 1, what's one moment in our relationship that made you really proud?
I think the day that you called me to come pick you up in New Jersey.
Yeah, that one was tough.
But
Yeah.
you trusted me.
Mm-hmm. How has our relationship changed over the years? Ooh, that's a tough one.
For a quick rundown, I was a very young parent. So I had you when I just turned 22. And I was kind of a helicopter parent. Didn't realize there were better ways. So I think I was really hard on you when you were younger, maybe harder than I should have been. So by the time you were 18, you were ready to get out. And that's not really what I envisioned for our relationship. I thought we were going to be like besties, and didn't realize that my parenting style was actually pushing you away. And it took you leaving home and a lot of self-reflection, a lot, to make me see it all.
Well, we can still be besties.
I know.
I love you, Mom.
Oh, I love you too. But I had a lot of growing up to do.
I didn't interview you to make you cry, I promise.
I know, but I have this big squishy mushy heart, so
I know. You passed that on to me too.
yeah. But I am very happy with the way our relationship has evolved and transitioned. So grateful.
There was a time I didn't even know that would be possible.
Me either.
Yeah.
Because when you left home when you were 18 and newly married and all of those things, it felt very much like you just wrote me out of your life. And
well, I would also attribute that to someone talking into my ear and
yes,
telling me how I should act in certain situations. So it wasn't 100% you.
but it just felt very much that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I really didn't think that we would be where we are today, and I'm just so thankful.
Girl, me too. Alrighty. What is the best lesson you've learned from being a mom?
And I'm still not perfect at it or really, really good at it, but it's to have patience. Over the years, and recognizing just because I want something for you or for any child I have in my life doesn't mean that's what they want. And it doesn't mean that that's the path they're going to choose. They are an individual and not necessarily thinking on the same wavelength I am.
That's a good lesson to learn.
Yes. It's a harder one than I realized.
Because there's a sense of wanting to protect them, too.
Yeah, it's all about protecting. And
you don't want them to have that sink or swim moment if you can help it. Mm-hmm. But sometimes
you need to let it just happen.
Sometimes you have a stubborn child who only goes through sink or swim situations in their life.
There was a moment in time where I envisioned you going to college and getting a degree that was going to leave you in a place where you wouldn't have to depend on anyone for anything. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was the path you needed to go. And you didn't see it that way. And you didn't know what you wanted, but it wasn't that. And I couldn't come to terms with that. I was still at an age where I thought, this is what I want for you. I'm protecting you. I'm trying to prepare you for the rest of your life and for reality. And this is what you need to do. And you just were bucking it at every turn. And I didn't understand. So that level of patience came from very deep within, because that one was a really hard one. That was probably one of the toughest ones for me to overcome. You wanted to go to school for art, and I'm sitting here going, you can get all the lessons you want.
Off of
YouTube. Go to Michael's. You can learn all of that.
Yeah.
And you can, but there's things that an art degree will give you too. But realistically, I had my mindset. You should do a certain thing, be on a certain path. And that took a lot longer than I thought it should. Sorry.
That's what editing is for. Alrighty. Well, thank you for that detailed answer. Yes. And I'm sure people will be able to learn from that. If you could give me one piece of advice for the future, what would it be?
Always keep an open mind and an open heart.
And that one's short and sweet. I like it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What is something you wish you had told me more often when I was younger?
Just how absolutely magnificent you are. I think that I didn't give you enough accolades and enough positive assurances on anything. It is very easy to see the negative in life in general when you're going through a lot of negative. Mm-hmm. And so it became very easy for me to point out all the bad because I had my own issues that I was dealing with. Mm-hmm. Family issues and relationship issues and
it gets tough. Life is tough.
It does, but you didn't deserve that being passed on to you either. So if I could go back and change anything, I would always remind you of your ability to be independent, do what you want to do, how you want to do it, and support you more in that process.
Got you. Thank you. There is a certain part of, how do I want to word this? Basically, how I kind of reacted to that. I started to place my worth and value in how my partner saw me. And for the longest time, that was one of my biggest struggles that I didn't even realize. And I think that actually could be a partial reason as to why my first marriage failed. Because instead of placing God in the center of my marriage, I placed all of my worth and happiness and value into what my partner thought of me that day. And I'm just sharing that because people are going to watch this, and if someone else is going through something like that, I just want them to know that what other people think of you is not what you're worth.
That's true. So true. And I think that a lot of that probably is derived from how I raised you and how we interacted. And I think it very much plays a part in how I was raised.
I don't want you to feel bad because we're past it now.
We are.
And if we don't talk about things like this, that's why I've always been so open to talk about my experiences, because you don't know what other people are going through, and you don't know if people are going through the same thing. And it could just be that one conversation that you have that could help them in whatever situation they're going through. It could help open their eyes to realize I shouldn't be treated like this. I do deserve better. So that's why I'm open.
And I think the only thing I would say is I think you're right in that we have moved past it. And I think the only way that we were able to do that is to have addressed it along the way, talked it out, but also growing and maturing, both of us.
Like, we kind of went our separate ways and then came back together when we were both in a more healed state and
Yes.
grown state. We kind of had a different approach to that because a lot of times you go through conflict resolution and you talk it out until it's resolved. But we're both kind of avoidant people.
Yeah.
And we just kind of like didn't talk about it for a while until we both felt like we could come back and have probably a more mature conversation. Not that our conversations were mature, but we both matured in that time.
And I feel like you're probably more avoidant even than I am, because I can remember a few times where I would call you and we would talk for a little bit, but it was still very strained. And I would make an attempt at some point to dance around the subject and talk it out, and could tell you were not ready. And we would get off the phone really quickly.
Yeah. Conversations did not last long there for a while.
Yeah. And I think we went about 6 years.
I mean, that's the length of my marriage, so yes.
Yeah. There you go. That's all I would say.
All right. Well, let's move on to the more nostalgic questions. What was life like when you were my age?
What was
27, just to remind you.
27. Well, let's see. At 27, I had you.
I was 5.
You were 5. We had just moved back up here.
Yeah, to Virginia.
To Virginia. I had just worked for the family business for 10 years, and it didn't go very well. My father and stepmother went through a nasty divorce. The company did not do well, and I ended up as an officer of the company, sitting in federal bankruptcy court and having to take the stand and testify in my mid-20s. That was not fun.
I don't even remember that. Was I there for that?
No, you were not there.
I remember being in a courtroom for something.
That was for something else.
Okay. We'll leave it at that.
I had to take you to court to get custody of you. Full custody. Because I realized that at some point we were going to move to Virginia, which would mean taking you over state lines. And there are certain guidelines and criteria where it was going to be beneficial for me to make sure I had full legal custody of you.
Yeah, true.
I had to take you to court and make sure that was done. But yeah, so that's at my 27 years of age, that's what I had been through. And we had moved here and started life over again.
That I do remember.
That was not very fun. We
I didn't have all the responsibilities, so it was a little more fun for me than it was for you, probably.
Yes. And, we moved up here and had family, instant friends for you, some not so friendly.
Not the name drop.
Edit that out, please.
We'll see.
Some not so friendly, and some really, really good connections for you. And to take you under their wing and help you acclimate to the changes. It was a hard move, but it was probably one of the most foundational moves for me as a 20-something single mom. It let me know that I was definitely an independent soul. It gave me the ability to see my own courage and strength. I was thankful in a lot of ways for it. It scared the daylights out of me when I was going through it, but very thankful for it. Ended up finding a job. It didn't pay anywhere near what I was used to making, but it was a job, and worked my way up over time and with multiple people. So
that is definitely a lot. Moving on to the next question now.
Yes.
What's a tradition or a value from our family that you hope I carry on?
Grandma's mac and cheese.
That's grandma's? Oh, you best believe I'm passing that on. That's amazing.
Yes, grandma's mac and cheese.
I feel like we're not a family of tradition, though.
We're not, but we we celebrate Christmas big, usually.
I guess
think,
I don't as much.
Right. Christmas was always a really big deal for me. I think there were some years there where I was very depressed. And so it became not as important. And I don't know if that got passed on to you in some way, but there's a lot of magic in Christmas. It's a time for new beginnings, a time for resolving the past, a time for welcoming new challenges. It's a time for renewal, reflection. A year is coming to a close. It's going to be a whole new year full of new challenges and growth and potential. And I've always looked at Christmas as kind of a transitional time.
Nice. Alrighty. Question 3. If you could relive one moment from our past together, what would it be?
There's many. The day you were born.
You want to relive that pain?
To be able to hold you again when you were that little.
When I was just a little potato.
Yes. The day you were born, the first day you walked, any of your milestones.
Mighty. And what is a lesson your mom taught you that you passed down to me?
Independence. I think if I taught you anything that she taught me, it would be independence.
That's why I'm so stubborn.
You definitely.
I feel like I've always just kind of naturally been independent.
You have. Yeah, in a lot of ways you have, but there were times when you were little where you wanted me to do everything for you. And that's pretty natural with little kids. But I had tried to instill in you that you could do it yourself. And I think you picked it up and ran with it.
Sure did. All right, last question. What's one thing about our bond that makes it special?
The fact that, I mean, there's no denying a mother-daughter bond anyway, but the fact that we have overcome the obstacles that we went through, because they were pretty tough, I think that just strengthened it even that much more.
Amen, sister. All right, well, that's all the questions that I had. Thank you for being candid in your answers.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for bringing me to tears. All good things.
Yeah, it's good to reflect on stuff like this. But I really like that we were able to do this, because part of the purpose of this channel is to be able to go back and look at stuff after a while. And, it's almost like, it's not like a time capsule, but at the same time, it's just like, documenting.
Well, thank you for doing this. It definitely took me back in time and let me relive some moments. And
we love learning lore.
Yes.
I guess. So you show them what I did?
Yes.
Yep. How do you like your new background?
I love it. It's great.
With the interview complete, we gotta end it with a hug, and now it's time for food. A little smoky in here.
Cooking some burgers.
Mom wants to include something in what she missed earlier.
So one of the valuable lessons I learned as a parent is to spend time to teach, not just say do something because I said so. There are times where that's appropriate, but there are also more times when you need to be teaching and teaching the why behind things instead of just because I said so.
Yeah, because that was the one thing that
I used to do.
She used to say to me growing up was, why?
Because I
I
said
said so. Yeah. Yes.